Let's get straight into it. Open Canva and create a new design. I'm using a 16 by 9 video crop, but you can follow along in mobile format if preferred. For this one, we'll lay down the main music tracks, followed by the footage and titles, and then the sound design. Add a blank page for now and set it to 5 minutes, so we have room to edit in the music tracks. Open the audio section and search for Dark Forebodings. Select this one and place it at the start of the composition like so. Next, search for Thriller Horror Scene. Select this one and place it at around 4 seconds into the timeline. We can make adjustments to the timings when we add the footage later if needs be. Layering music tracks on top of each other usually isn't recommended, but can sometimes work if both tracks are recorded in the same key or one is subtle enough not to interfere with the other. Next, search for Scary Whispers. Select this one and place it so it overlaps at the end of the most recent edition. Give it a 5-second fade in so it gradually transitions into the sound effect. Now search for Horror Trailer. Select this one and place it anywhere on the timeline. Scrub through to the section where the music starts to get more energetic and bassy. Right-click and select Split Audio, delete the first half, and place it at around the 50-second mark. Now you can trim the Scary Whisper sample and fade it out so it ends not long after the newest track ends. Okay, let's have a quick preview of how that all sounds. Time to add some spooky footage. Open the video library and search for Horror Shot. Select this one and place it at the start of the timeline. Open the text tool and type out your opening title. In this case, it's Whispers in the Dark. I typed the title out in 2 separate text blocks, one for the feature word and another for the remainder. Set the main title to something horror-themed, like the Butcherman font. Change the color to white and give it a neon effect, like so. Change the bottom text to the Max Thompson font, set it to white, give it a neon effect as before, then give both layers a subtle curve effect, like so. Let's add a bit of texture to the title layer. To do this, you'll need to copy the text layers into a new blank video project, then download that design as a PNG file with a transparent background. Re-import the PNG into the opening scene and remove the original text layers. Now that we have this layer as an image file, we can access a few apps and animations that aren't available for text layers. With the image selected, open the Apps section and select the Texture app. This app offers a huge range of presets to choose from, so I'd recommend experimenting until you find something that fits your particular image. Next, open the Animations panel and give it an old TV animation, making sure both is selected. Open the Videos section and search for Kids Horror Forest. Select this one and place it above the opening scene like so. Have it start in line with the second audio clip, then trim the footage to your liking. Search for Abandoned House Scary. Look for this one and place it on the next page after page 1. Trim it to around 6 seconds, then at around the halfway mark. Press S to split the footage, then add another split around 0.5 seconds later. We now have a small segment of footage to use as a jump scare. Select the trimmed page and double-click the footage so we can enlarge it to give a snappy zoom-in effect. Open the Filters panel and give it a filter of your choice. I'm using the X Pro Plus filter at 100%. Open the Elements tab and search for blood splatter. Select one you like and place it in the corner of the frame, like so. Darken the blood color if needed, and place another on the opposite side of the frame. We'll add more dramatic effect to this scene in the sound design section later. Open the Video section and search for Grungy Stairwell. This clip is ideal for adding a title due to the subtle movements. Type out your title and select the Max Somson font again, making sure to align it to the start of the clip with no animation. Search for Photocopy Scan Overlay in the Elements tab and place this one on the canvas, covering the whole frame. Trim it down like so and give it a shake zoom animation. Search for footage called Scary Grim Reaper. Select this one and place it on the timeline like so. Open the Elements tab and search for Film Texture Orange Frame. Select this one and place it so it covers the Grim Reaper footage. Search for TV Static in the video library. Select one you like and trim it down to 0.2 seconds, placing it between the two most recent clips. Place a second version at the next transition. Search for Scary Ghost Floating in the video section and place this one on the next page. Trim the start so it instantly shows the ghost in plain view. Then after a few seconds, make a split so we can create another jump scare where the ghost jumps closer to the viewer suddenly. Trim the end so we cut away while the ghost is in motion. Next, search for Halloween Horror Haunted. Find this one and place it on the next page to line up with the scary whispers. You can add another title here with a slow clarify animation. Search for Horror Bride. Find this one and place it on the next page. Trim to 0.1 seconds. At this point, you should be well acquainted with the footage process, so I'm going to speed through these next sections. You can slow down in the video settings if you need any particular names or techniques. For the closing sequence, search for Aerial Africa Atmosphere. Select this one and line it up with the musical climax from the horror trailer. Next, open the Images library and search for Scary Mask on a black surface. Select this one, resize it, and remove the background like so. Reduce the transparency to around 35% and line it up with the start of the second bar of the music. Trim it to the start of the next one, then give it a fade animation, making sure On Exit is selected. Search for Scary Evil Skeleton Skull. Select this one and go through the same process, lining it up with the next bar. From here, we can start adding the text hits, timed to the build-up and synced with every thump as the music intensifies. Add the same exit fade animation as before to give each new word an impactful entrance. Go to the video library and search for Scary Castle. Select this one and line it up with the section after the climax. Search for Man with Scary Mask and line it up with the closing thump. Reduce the transparency to give it that extra eerie feeling. Now let's move on to sound design. Open the audio section and filter for sound effects. Search for Electrical 31. Select this one and place it so it lines up with the title, Animation. Next, search for Scary Evil Laugh. Place it just after the electrical sample. Search for G-Shock. Line it up with the closing animation of the title and reduce the volume to 5. Search for Kids Game.
Down by the banks of the hanky-panky river, sounds from.
Select this one and place it so it lines up with the children walking through the woods. Reduce the volume to 20. Search for Distortion Glitch and place it beneath the jump scare section here. For these sections, it's important to keep the sample loud to frighten the audience. Search for Horror Music Buildup. Select this one and trim out the first section of the sample, then line up the ending with the start of the stairwell scene, like so. Search for Scream Female 4, place it beneath the title section, and reduce the volume to 20. Now search for Distortion Static, place it beneath the static VT transitions, and trim it to the same length as the footage layers. Search for Scary Monster Growling, and place it beneath the Grim Reaper footage, reducing the volume to 50. For the ghost jump scare, search for Composition Stab, line it up with the start of the trimmed scene like so. Now search for Scary Monster Roaring, then line it up with the part where the ghost starts advancing towards us. You may need to increase the volume on this one a little. Search for Scary Riser. Select this one and place it near the start of the horror trailer track. The key here is to line up the climax of the riser with the climax from the horror trailer track. That way, it forms a cohesive transition between the two music tracks. Once you have fine-tuned all of the placements and positionings, go ahead and open the Elements tab and search for 9x16 Film Texture Overlay Frame. Find this one and place it on the very top track so it sits on top of all elements. Rotate it by 90 degrees and make sure it covers the entire project. This overlay gives the footage a nice vintage feel. If you have any questions about the scenes I skipped past, feel free to shoot me a comment. And don't forget, Patreon members have access to the full Canva template for the project. Until next time.